Hello? I need to see if this works. I should probably close all these. um, Hello? Oh, perfect. Okay. I think I'm good to go then. Oh wait, how do I see chat? Without alt tabbing. Hold on. Um, Studio mode? Nope. Um, oh yes, how to see YouTube chat. Um, let's see. That's not what I... Oh, that's not what I really meant. Hold the phone. Will this show game? It does. Okay, that's good. Apologies if someone's coming in. I don't think anyone is. Um, I think this is gonna hear this too. That's okay. I probably don't need to have audio on. Uh, how can I see if anyone's even watching? Am I even looking at my own chat right now? No. I apologize. There is two people watching. Okay. I'm letting you know, sketchy guy, that this stream might be a little scuffed. Oh wait, I can just have. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do it like this. Okay, I'm not gonna look at OBS, but that's okay. I am just looking at this. All right. Um, yeah, I have decided to do this finally. So I think it's fine. I should have probably looked up how to actually put OBS on or my YouTube chat on OBS, so I don't need to look at YouTube like my YouTube stream while doing this. But it's okay. I don't think it's actually scuffed, but this is like kind of first take, so you know, we'll see how it goes. Um, but I'm just going to give a rundown of how to do everything with this weapon. Um, this is going to be like a very, it's not going to be a simple guide, but like I'm going to go through like everything I can, if that makes sense. But if you have any questions, because I'll inevitably miss something, please let me know. I will gladly go over it. And yeah, that's all I got. The first few things I do want to go over. Why am I 42 HP? Whatever. Um, the first things I want to go over is the active input moves because just in general, the most common mistakes I've seen on this weapon have been one, the over uh, usification. I don't even know if that's a word. Of sidelight into what active inputs you use on specific moves. Um, I'll yeah, sure combos and what and strains we'll get into, so don't worry about that. Anyways, uh, firstly, I just want to do sidelight because I feel like that's the most important one to go over. Sidelight, you go up or you go down, obviously. I do not have the bot set up whatsoever, I'm realizing. Um, the most important thing to take away from this, just looking at it for face value, is that the if you do a side light, they guarantee get their dodge back. They get their grounded dodge. They don't get an aerial dodge. So if you do an up dodge here, this is only give you 2 hits. All right, that's a very important thing to look at. Now, if you drag him off stage, he might have hit the ground still. Yeah. Um, if you drag them off stage, that is no longer the case. I didn't put the dodge on. um, so that is a very important distinction if you want to try to go for clips off stage or 0 to deaths or anything like that. Now looking at the other parts of this move, on the ground, normally staying on the ground is better. For a few reasons. One, just being grounded in Brawlhalla gives you more advantages. You're able to do more, right? You're able to dash, you're able to have better movement, which is way more important. But two, your stream potential is a lot more. You have confirms like going side light into end light, obviously. You have no jump reads with D light. You have stuff like that, where going up, the extent of what you have is this. Or this. This is also confirmed, but you use a chase dodge, so you can't do a whole lot afterwards. That's also only a confirm on stage. Anyways. That's about it when it comes to onstage. Pretty much always stay grounded, unless you're a little scared, I guess. You can go up and do like something like this. Like if you're low HP, sometimes I do a dodge back. And that's about it. Yeah. When it comes to offstage, you always want to be going up though, because you get this every single time. This isn't a confirm as of this moment on stage because of snap dash. So you want to be just doing this off stage. It's really good. Sends out a really good angle for you. Get stage control. You just always want to be doing that. If you don't have their dodge, you can do either one. It doesn't really matter, right? You can back up like this way easier. You can dodge the other way. So up to you. All right. Looking at other moves. Can I even see how many people are watching? Hold up. I think it's just you, unless I'm going crazy. Okay. The other or the other grounded move that we're going to be talking about is going to be D-Light. D-Light, you have 2 options, obviously, go up or down like the other one. Right now, this is really the only one you want to ever go for, is going up. I say that because this one is nice sometimes, but at the end of the day, does do less damage every single time than almost all of the options that go up. The only one that does less is a chase dodge dare. Oh wait, going off stage because you're carrying it does almost the same amount. But if you're doing on stage, it's going to be 4 less damage, which is pretty big deal. The plus sides of going up though is just way too high. You get guaranteed really good damage. You get a kill confirms way easier, right? If we go to like 160, that might not kill. If we go to 170, we're going to kill. So it's going to be way more consistent. You get more confirms like this off of it, and you're a little bit more threatening. The minus side of the dare version of doing like less damage is if you are going off stage, you spike them. So, and the only advantage of this version is that you kind of spike them. It's not really a spike, but we'll, I don't know why I did it that much. They kind of go at a diagonal angle, which is nice. Hold up, I'm going to put my display capture because I can actually show my mouse, which will help. Okay. Aerial active inputs. How do you do each version? um, it's just the direction you hold. So if I hold down, I'm going to go on the ground. If I do, uh, if I just hold forward, or if I hold nothing, I go up. I hold forward every single time. Um, Same thing with this. I go up if I hold forward. Don't go anywhere if I don't hold anything. Okay. Aerial versions of moves, pretty. We'll do Sair first. Sair, you either follow if I do a Sair, or you knock them back, or you push yourself back, I should say. Early healths. Well, okay. First thing, you follow them, it's going to do a lot less damage, right? That's 12. It's not a lot less, but compared to 15. So if I'm following, I'm able to do strings a lot easier until about 90 to 110 is kind of where it falls off. You kind of have to start dashing. You have to be doing certain things. But it's pretty good for pressuring, right? If you are on top of your opponent, they see that you're following doing this move, they're most likely going to do an option that is going to be good for you, right? They're going to do a panic dodge. You're going to get some information off of that. Maybe they wake up. That's still valuable information. Wake ups don't really do a whole lot in that scenario though, so kind of okay with. But you're always going to have an advantage doing that. So the decision comes up to really you, right? If you want to go for more guaranteed buildup, just do the pushbacks there, right? You'll see certain players have different play styles with this. So if I am impersonating a Balloon Boy, for example, I'm almost always just going to do this there. But if I'm Wes, I'm going to follow a little bit more, and they have success doing slightly different play styles, and that's perfectly okay. You're going to have to kind of figure that out on your own. And I'll talk about strengths and whatnot in a little bit, but that's kind of how that goes. Kill confirms, obviously, I kind of already talked about it, but like, you know, this does knock back and the other one doesn't. Now, obviously, oh, yeah, at low HPs, I'm going to do the pushback version. It's not as simple as that. And I say that because it changes at certain healths. So if I am before 110, this is going to do more knockback. I believe it's 110. Hopefully I'm not wrong with that. Okay, it's like the exact same at 100. So if you're going for 0 to death reads, and you're starting at 0, we'll just do the exact same thing as earlier. I hope this kills. It might not here because of how far away I am. Yeah, I barely didn't kill. But if I did the other version, it's like no matter what, I'm not killing there. So I'm going to do it like slightly more forward. There will definitely kill. That's going to kill. Compared to the other one that is not going to do so. Most likely anyways, I'd be shocked. Yeah. So that's the important distinction, at least early, when it comes to 0 to death stuff. Okay. Last move for active inputs is Dare. On ground, this is by far the simplest one. Always do this. It's like, don't even worry about anything else. The only times you use this is actually in twos. So the guy, so it's catchy for you. For team combos, you'll very rarely see this because you have to be at lower HPs. But doing like Dare on the ground, you see how they slightly go backwards. That's sometimes usable in twos. Most team combos with boots though is just like you play Tesco or Raptor and you just like end sig or D-sig and you call it a day. You call it a day. Off stage gets a little bit more complicated and it also is once again, a playstyle dependent thing. If I'm not comfortable going off stage, and we'll talk a lot about off stage in a minute, but um, you have either option of going towards them or bouncing. D-Light Dare is like kind of a fake combo. We'll talk about that later too. Um, if you are more comfortable going off stage in advantage state, um, you can go for this. You can go for like things like that and try to get a KO. If you're not, just take your advantage. Come back to wall. You have advantage. You're still in a really good spot. I think that's all I want to talk about with active input. But before I move on, is it just still, no, it's 3 people now. Okay, awesome. Does the other 2 people have any questions before I move on? Because I might be missing things I don't know. It's not that I don't know, I just might not be talking about it at the moment. I think that's everything, unless someone's confused. How much delay do I have? Is that an absurd amount of delay? That's kind of a decent amount. What is the version that kills on earlier combo and the one that doesn't? It's just Sair following until 100 damage is going to does more knockback. That's all. So like, if we do any HP, he goes to the weapon right now. If I do it not, he goes closer. Yeah, my computer, the delay is like a little bit much. I don't know why, but hey, it's okay. We'll work with it. Okay, I think that's it then. Next, we're just going to quickly go over shrew combos because at the end of the day, this is a Poots guide. So all the shrew combos pretty much start with D-Light. D-Light Sair, I'll turn on stun just for demonstration purposes. D-Light Sair, that's not the right move. D-Light Nair, D-Light Chase Dodge Dare. Now, I wanted to talk about this earlier, but you don't need a chase dodge sometimes, and if you do chase dodge sometimes, you sometimes miss it. So like if I hit Dare close here, if I chase dodge, I'm going to miss sometimes. Sometimes it's fine too. With that said though, if you reverse it, well, and if you're not like a bot, this will always hit. This is very situational, right? If I want my opponents to stay on stage to continue strings, that's when it's helpful. You can also do the same thing with, wow, I just messed that up. That's insane. The same thing with Sair. This one is a little harder. I'll give it a little bit of a credit. But it is very helpful in twos, right? So like if I'm on ledge and my opponent is on wall and my teammate's behind me, cool. I start a team combo right away. Very useful. Okay. D-Light Recovery is the next one to kill confirm. It's going to be your most consistent kill confirm, to be clear. As we showed earlier, you might have noticed, 170, I killed off the top. He actually might die now because I moved a little closer to the kill box. But mid-stage, I won't kill with the Sair here. So keep that in mind. It's a little more consistent depending on where you are on the map. Other shrew combos that are a little bit more niche. D-Light going up into side light is shrew. I did a little delayed because I was trying to talk, but okay, or something's not okay with me. Hello? There we go. Now, you're probably wondering, oh, why is that helpful? If you get a gravity cancel like right here, where you get an aerial dodge and you get a D-Light, you can do this, which is nice, because it drags them as far as possible away from the stage, and it sends them at a diagonally down angle. Um, Going down nlight was question if that was true. I don't know how I missed the first two, but it is what it is. Um, and then the last one, which I think it's dex dependent because I tried to do this earlier on Tesca and it was not working, and I know it works. Um, it's just D-light, side light. It's that, or they changed it a few patches ago and I just never noticed because I never use it. I don't know what it is. And that's all the true combos, other than wall combos. But if you're looking at this guide, you probably know about those. Or if you are good enough to be at that level, you know about it, I should say. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll go to strains next because that's just obviously getting all the fundamentals down first is probably the best. Okay. Strains, we'll do the grounded ones first. The grounded ones is like the most basic game plan on boots, or like pretty much in the entire game, is just like you connect to every single move with each other, I should say. I don't think I said that correctly whatsoever, but you'll see in a second. If I do a dare, I can do an end light, or I can do a side light into an end light. Um, if I start with a end light, I can do a side light into end light. If I do a Sayer, I can do an end light. Well, now I can do a chase dodge there. So all of these connect like with either uh, end light or side light every single time. All right. I'll say this because this is what it is a little misleading probably if you just saw me doing this. Depending on how you hit dare, you can't hit the side light. So like if I barely hit his head, um, or depending on how you hit, what timing you start your dare, um, you have to do an end light. I can't really get it right now, and I had a dash for that one, but that is how that works. Maybe it's like that. No, I can't get it at the moment, but that is how that works. So you have to keep that in mind. You'll be able to see it way more the more you play it. Um, it mostly happens, I believe, when your opponent is a tiny bit off the ground. So I'll try to do it real quick. But there we go. That's a perfect example. Um, he doesn't go anywhere when he bounced because obviously he bounced. Um, so you do an end light, and that's it. Okay. That's all the grounded strings. That's like literally it. Other than like going for D-Light Sayer into D-Light Sayer, but you've probably seen that a million times. You can combine those with D-Light Sayer if you want, and that's okay too. I actually did forget one more. Um, I've been doing this recently. This is only a confirm on the stage. But side light, chase dodge, diagonal, Sayer. That was 6 frames, and I know it's not jumpable, but that was sketch. Hold up. Yeah, okay. I had to make sure. It was a little sketchy to me. That does the most damage you can there, but it's a little harder to extend past that. So keep that in mind, because you don't have a chase dodge. Anyways. That's all the grounded stuff. Looking at aerials, there's 2 main ones. One is Nair into Sayer, and the other one is Nair in recovery. I'm going to say this right now because this doesn't really work a lot of the times. Nair is like horrendously bad when it comes to consistency for these strings. If you hit Nair a tiny bit wrong, you can't get this air. The same thing goes for recovery, although it's a way more lenient, right, than the Sayer version. It is still like that. So keep that in mind when looking at that. Um, specifically, this is still the case even if you hit the Shrew combo. That was, I believe, fast followable. So you have to be looking at those kind of things when looking at that. The fast fall variants where that might miss, probably don't need to worry about most of the time for most of the people that are going to watch this video because most people don't fast fall, right? Even me, like I wouldn't fast fall here. Like, that's just not something I would instinctively do, but it's still something to keep in mind. The jumpable version or part is something actually to keep note of though. Other strings in the air, chase dodge into recovery after you hit the first recovery. It's something, I mean, if you watch any of my montages, pretty much, I almost always have a clip in there that's like this. Now, this isn't a confirm whatsoever. So, when I say that, is I'm going to put a jump reaction up on. I'm not able to hit it. So, if you want to hit it, you have to do that. So you have to chase dodge even more. Now, you probably saw it once again. The last part, I didn't hit either. That's not a confirm either. I almost always get a kill at the top after I do this, but I shouldn't. It should not be happening. So I don't know why it happens sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. People don't do the right options, but it's not consistent. As well as very quickly, sometimes you'll have to turn around when you do this, right? This is driftable, as you can probably see, so you have to read the drift as well. Anyways, that's all for that. You can obviously combine it too, like you can do like this. That's an option. I would never do that, but up to you. Okay, is that it? I think that's it for the like stuff on stage for strings, like the basic versions at least. Can do reads later. So, okay, before I continue, what would you like to see first? We can do off stage, we can do just some like dodge reads. When I say off stage, I mean like general strings or like just talking about advantage and disadvantage state. But up to you. I don't really know what would flow better. Off stage. Okay, so we'll do reads later. Off stage, let's talk about the strings first, and then we'll get into the details. Strings, this bot is always going to jump up off stage right now, so we'll do those first. Oh, how to not die. Okay, we'll do that right after. Because this, fine. We'll do disadvantage and advantage. So, real quick, because this is for video, advantage, if you don't know, is any time that you are either hitting your opponent or you're in a really good position. A good position can be, hey, I have stage control right now. I'm in the middle of the stage. I have the majority of the map, right? My opponent is pressured if I literally move anywhere. That can be an example of your opponent being on the wall, or they're being off stage, or whatever. Disadvantage is when you're on the receiving end of that. There we go. Advantage and disadvantage on boots is a little iffy. I say that because boots advantage has one of the best advantage states in the game offstage. It is very comparable to gauntlets when it comes to offstage, right? You have a driftable ground pound, which is very nice. It's a very good hitbox, right? This is an automatic hitbox, which is also nice, but pretty solid. As well as a dare that is pretty much unarmed dare, which is better than most dares in the game. So combine those, you have a really good advantage state. Especially with Sarah as well, right? Especially at like higher HPs, very solid. Dude, this is so delayed on my end. It's crazy. Refresh it again. No idea. Okay. Now, that all comes in at a cost. Instead of like the other top tier weapons off stage that are like very good at getting out of situations and being the advantage pusher, I guess. Boots is not. Boots is very bad at disadvantage. I say that because of this very, very bad recovery. This recovery, if you can't tell, has a lot of active time. Active time is just or active frames. I don't know if I said active time. It's just the amount of frames that this move is out. Normally, in like combat heavy moves, that's a really good thing, right? As a combat move, going for like these kind of things is very good for boots, right? Killing is pretty solid with it. But this becomes a massive weakness when we're off stage because it is so easily punishable. So if I'm off stage, I recover, there's a good chance I get D-Light ground pounded. Or I get dared or whatever it is. I'm at a bad spot. So, and just to put it in perspective, I'm already out of my move on gauntlets. So when I'm on disadvantage, a lot of times I don't want to actually have my weapon. And this kind of depends on your character, but a lot of times I'll just do something like this. I'll just get rid of the weapon. Who cares? You know, that there'll be another weapon spawn. It's okay. That is the safest way for any weapon in the game to recover. So take anything away from like any weapon ever, that. You can do it from further away too, like doing a bounce like that. You can pick it up if you need it. Now, with that, me saying that, there are some caveats to it. You don't always need to do it, right? If I'm playing Tesca, if I'm playing Thea, if I'm playing not really Rafter, I don't want to count that. No, that's it. If you're playing Thea and Tesca, if you notice your opponent isn't going off stage that much, but you might be scared of them doing it late while they're coming to wall, you have this, right? That is very threatening. So you don't always need to get rid of your weapon. Thea has the same thing because the NSIG goes at this angle, but then you end up over here. Pretty perfect. Okay. That's how you kind of play around disadvantage. If you are getting hit away, like really far off stage, like over here, I would suggest recover early. I say that, wow, my cursor has been in the middle of the screen this entire time. That is depressing. I say that because that is one of the only times where you're not going to be able to get punished, except for a weapon throw. But if you notice your opponent isn't going for a weapon throw today, just do that. It's okay. Okay, that's all for disadvantage. Now we're going to go to advantage because actually because that is kind of a hefty subject. You can ask a question. Who character is the battle boots of the game? I don't know what exactly I mean. If you're talking about the best character for boots, it's Tesca. Yeah, okay. Tesca is the most consistent for both game modes. Raptor is very good because he has arguably the best SIGs for boots, but the stat line of Tesca is kind of hard to beat, and then his SIGs are also insane as well, so it's not much of a downside. But yeah, I'm gonna wait a second to see if there's any questions about disadvantage, and then we'll move on to strings off stage and how to capitalize on advantage state. But yeah, I don't play the best boots legend whatsoever. So, so I play arguably the worst one. I don't know right now though. With the Thea buff, I know it's Lance, but he's pretty solid right now. I gotta say, it's very refreshing to kill at like 130. Okay, I'm assuming there's no questions then. All right, so we'll go to advantage state. We're going to start with all the jump reads because that's what the bot's set up for already. Um, every single time, or the mass majority of players, even at high elo, and I say high elo, I mean like 27, 2800. I've hit pros with this exact same thing. It happens all the time. Um, is you read a drift. Okay, I hit the D light too close. I'm a failure. You hit the D light into dare. You just keep on doing this dance where you ground pound, you stall a little bit, you do another dare. How this works is pretty simple. Oh my, I just missed it. That's embarrassing. Um, you see me do like a little dash back, or not dash back, movement back. So I do a ground pound, and then I look the other way that I'm going to do the dare with, and then I do the dare. Okay? That's how you hit that every time. That's going to read the panic jump. That's going to read the drift in. It actually catches more than just drift in, but the ground pound at the start catches only drift in. That is kind of like my go-to personally. That doesn't mean that's your only options, right? If I, your other options, if they're like panic jumping in, is this one here, right? You get your Sarah. This one's a little harder to hit, so just a quick thing to say about it, how to hit it. You have to input going backwards, right? I'm holding back while I'm doing the Sarah. If you don't do that, if you're holding forward, okay, I didn't even input it. Try to mess it up and I messed it up too much. That's what happens. So you have to hold backwards. Um, that's kind of like the basic go-to with that. If you don't know what to do afterwards, I can't show the entire string with this, but if you're reading for a, wow, dude, this is insane. And then I messed that up. You know, maybe I'm not a Beats player. Oh my god. Dude, am I like losing it? Oh my lord. You can go. Okay, I just did the normal version. I'm gonna lose it. Okay, there we go. You can do things like that. Okay? Your jump reads for boots is one of two things depending on your character. It is an Enzig or it's another Sair. Okay? Like Sair, and a Sair, and a Sair, and a Sair. Or how many that you can do without dying. Going now, if they don't jump, you have a few options. One, oh, okay. Yeah, Thea's cool. I have a Thea guide if you want to look at that. Um, but Thea's a pretty rad legend. Anyways, if they don't jump, you can get a D-Light. That is going to be the best option you can do if you have a gravity cancel. If you don't have a gravity cancel, you would do just a dare. Chase dodge dare preferably. It kind of depends on which one is better. If you're at like the edge of the stage, you might as well just do another D-Light Sayer to read that. If you aren't, sending them at the very bottom of the screen is very helpful. If you want to look at like kind of the more complicated reads, other than like this Sayer into Sayer into Sayer into Sayer, which isn't really complicated, but the other ones that 0 to death that go the other path where they don't jump right away is this. Unfortunately, I have to make the bot dodge down for it, but this works for no dodge or no jump. Something like that. You don't need to kill yourself. I just didn't chase dodge. Um, where you're doing double dare, that works. You can also do instant ground pound, which is way more consistent, and I would recommend doing that 20 times more than doing the dare dare. Or if you wanted to be like a little flashy, and you don't use a chase dodge like here, so like I imagine if you are using dare like while they're coming up to stage, hold up, one moment, there we go, there we go. You can do things like this. Okay, I'm going to lose it today. You can do things like this, where you get a D-light afterwards. Now, I'm saying this right now. This is not consistent at all until like 80 to, I'm going to put at 80, just make sure. 80 or 70. Doing like stuff like that. I think that's pretty cool, but a little bit more complicated than your average stuff that you would go for. I think that's it for offstage though. Um, I guess for disadvantage, I guess I didn't talk about this real quick. Nair is your friend as well, right? If your opponent is sneaking up a little bit off stage, like Ragnar's pretty far, you can recover as well. I should have probably mentioned that earlier. But I think that's it. Is there any questions off stage until I get into reads and whatnot? I'm gonna blame that my FPS is like 40 down because I am streaming. Does this feel awful to play? Oh, that feels a little delayed, but not too bad. Messing up dash jumps a little bit more. I don't know. Every time I like record, it feels so miserable to play, but right now it doesn't feel too bad. Okay. If there's no questions, yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I just don't know how much delay there is, so I was waiting a little bit. I am going to go to reads. Reads, I mean, I already talked about jump reads and no jump reads, so I won't go into that too much. So I'm going to go into dodge reads primarily. Let's just do the grounded ones first. We're doing anything on the ground. You can imagine, like I said earlier with the strings, you can kind of just do whatever and it'll work. If I hit a dare, if I do a backdash, I'm going to read a dodge in with a side light. Is that the greatest thing? Not really, because he's, you know, it kind of goes far. This is Demon Island. So like if you want to do more committal stuff, doing like this, obviously it's not going to work further than that. But even like if I do, you know, a right dodge, this catches a lot of area. It doesn't catch both, you know, obviously, but like doing just a backdash here is going to catch at least 2 dodges, which is nice. Now I'm using dare in this example, but you can use whatever, like literally use whatever move you want. Like, cool, you know, cool. Same thing if I do this, like, you get the point, right? You just go into your confirms with like literally whatever you want on stage. And that's like all you really need to do. Now, when it comes to up dodges, obviously we talked about side light being a little iffy with it. So we're not going to talk about that. Actually, I want to talk about it again because I'm putting sections in the video. Side light, on the ground, they get their rounded dodge back. It sucks. It's been in the game for way too long, but it is what it is. If you want to know the best outcome for this, you just do another side light into dare. If it's off stage, that sometimes works. It's confusing to me because sometimes doing side light into side light does work if you do it like tight enough. I'm gonna try to do it one more time. Yeah, if you do it tight enough, this does work. Sometimes it doesn't. Is what it is. If you're doing the most consistent one, this does the most damage. Yeah. Other than that, just doing things like this, not a chase dodge going the opposite direction like a buffoon, is very helpful because they still don't have their dodge if you're doing anything but side light. Other variants, obviously, like if you do it up and right, you actually don't need to change anything. You just still jump up if they don't drift away, which he did. If he does drift away, you're gonna have to. Oh, does the bot always do that? I guess they do. Dash jump towards them is the best way. You don't need a dash jump forward. You can just drift with them, I believe. Unless he continuously... Dude, hello? Input? No, you do need a dash jump. Never mind. And then the other one, you know, obviously up and left. Do the same thing, but you backdash. And that's it. You struggle to catch up dodges. Yeah, just use sidelight more to catch it. The sidelight is your friend. It's just a big active move, right? Of course, like I just showed, if you're doing backdash and forward dash, for your away and in up dodges, that will help a lot. Else it's not going to work. But most of the time, you just need to. Most people just like do it straight up. So you just do a variant of one of these. I should probably have it as up. And that's really it. Now, the last part of this, instead of like doing all the grounded options, is doing a nair instead. This is the safest one to do, right? This is like ultra safe because you can do like stuff like this where you just chase dodge in front. You're not getting punished in a million years for doing that, which is helpful. All right, if neutral dodge, I don't think will work actually. We'll test. Yeah, no, it's going to be too active. But other dodges, if you do like a slightly delayed chase dodge, that's not a nair. It will help you, and it catches a few things. You can do the reads going up with it as well, right? Doing like this string path is helpful, and that's about it on the ground. Okay. Dude, I'm like yapping my ass off right now. I know it's a guide, but goddamn, 47 minutes? Okay. The more complicated stuff going up is stuff like, we'll have him jump. So like, if I do a nair, for example, I can do a few things, right? If I read this, I can do stuff like that. The nair there obviously isn't confirmed, like I said earlier. Oops. Which is helpful. I should probably just put this on timed now I'm thinking about it. But there's other paths too, right? You don't need to do a D-light there. You can like, you know, oops. You can read like this, right? So that's kind of up to you. My favorite variant out of everything, well, okay, before I move on, I can still like, you know, stuff like this too. It's the same things, right? But you're just catching different dodges. The only one that's different is actually the down dodges. So we'll do down, where's our left? There we go. Stuff like this. I think that's pretty cool string, right? It sends you off stage, or sends your opponent off stage, and then you can do whatever your off stage stuff that you desire. And then you don't kill myself like me. But that's about it for reads on stage that you need to know. I think that's it. Okay. What else is there to talk about? I guess neutral, right? I guess neutral would probably be the most important part. Ask any questions, by the way, if there's anything that comes up. Obviously, you mentioned up dodges before, but I don't know if how much else I can mention about that. Hold up, lost some thought. Neutral, right? Neutral is pretty basic. A big mistake I see at every single ELO range until like really 2300 is the amount of sidelights in game. Okay, Sidelight is an incredible move. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, right? It's great. It covers a lot of distance. It's relatively fast to come out. It is very punishable though, right? You don't want to be using it all the time, and you want to be combining some of the other things I mentioned already with Sidelight. All right. So before you go out in the world, please. Oh, it's not really set up in that spot. Don't do stuff like this where you're just dashing, dash, dash, dash. You don't do that constantly. You have other really, really good tools to help you with it. Okay? Your Enlight, for example, is one of the best, arguably the best Enlight in the game. Right? It has good knockback. It is pretty fast. It has a lot of active frames. Pretty good move. Now, if I'm dash dancing around, I can start with that. If I'm dancing around, I can start with a D-light. Okay, well not if I'm in the air, right? You have other options. Or dash jumping nair. You have a lot of options you can work with that can get you into advantage state, right? It's not just side light. I just see it way too much. That's why I'm emphasizing it. Um, I think I honed that down hard enough though. In neutral, Enlight is your friend, Sidelight, D-Light, all of them are your friend. You want to use them a lot. Still use Sidelight, alright? I'm not going to discredit it, but not as much. Enlight, though, in my humble opinion, is a lot of times your best engaged tool. And I say that because people jump. People jump. So if my opponent is jumping, like, what's my best option? It's going to be one of the best aerials in the game. That's what my option is. So engaging with that helps a lot. Okay, I think that's it. Other than that, if you're in a matchup, yeah, starting with D-Light is good, of course. If you're able to get in a spot, right? Obviously on ledge, like this is like the perfect time. Especially if you see your opponent is jumping as well, you can grab to cancel it. But it's good, yeah. If you notice your opponent isn't jumping at all, D-Light is good. Um, of course, mostly it is used for punishing, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. It's just like not the most important move to go for, if that makes sense. Um, okay. Other than that, if you're in a matchup that you're not super comfortable with, um, I don't know specifically for you guys, but the worst matchup for boots in general is, I would say, guitars, right? If I'm against guitars, I'm not having a great time. You are going to play much more of a punish game in those kind of matchups, right? You can also think of like Great Sword or Spear. Like a lot of people are uncomfortable with that matchup as well. Um, you want to be playing way more of a punish game, right? I'm gonna take control of Ragnir for the guitars example because I think it's pretty important. Um, Guitars, for example, this one move counters Dare completely. So your horizontal game, or not horizontal, your diagonal game is gone. Um, Enlight is faster than your moves, so getting in super close sometimes isn't optimal. So you're going to have to play way more of a punish game. You're going to be a little bit more passive, but that's okay. At the end of the day, passiveness to a lot of pro people, the amount of people I've seen say X is passive when they're not passive at all is astonishing, to say the least. So it's okay to be a little bit more parry heavy, if that makes sense. Okay. I believe that is most things. I do not struggle against Spear until an AW player that actually knows how to do it. Ensig. Oh, that's resonant. I'm losing no matter what. Yeah, Spear, people have trouble with Spear for the most part because of one reason. Um, dude, who has a spear? Oh, there we go. For one reason, and that is this move right here kind of counters you a lot, right? Your side light you can't really engage with as much. Your D light you can't. Your end light you can't, right? And even if you do get close stacked enough, they can do a side light, right? There's some difficulties getting in. Um, so those are the main issues with it. D light obviously you get countered by this, so there's a few issues. Anyways, it's my quick rant about spear. Um, I think that's it though. This is a long, yeah, 55 minutes, so. Scythe doesn't really have bad matchups, so. It's kind of hard to not have like a slight disadvantage, as I say, against it. It's bad because of offstage though, right? Like I said earlier, disadvantage is so bad on boots that if you are offstage against Scythe, it's kind of miserable. So not the greatest. And obviously Scythe's moves on stage are still relatively fast and they cover the areas that are hard for you to get in. So Boots doesn't have like fantastic matchups for the most part. Keep watching when you're done editing. I don't think I'll be editing too much, because I frankly know myself and I don't want to edit. So, I, like here, hold up, I'll show real quick. Um, like this from to here. No, not to there. I don't even know where. You can also tell these are old videos. There's a lot of footage that I just did not want to edit. So we'll see how much I'll edit. But yeah, that's I think that's it for everything. If you guys don't have any questions, I'll um I'll leave it there, I guess. So yeah. I probably will stream more though, because I don't know if I like playing or recording as much as I do just like playing and, being myself a little bit. So we'll see. Anyways, if that's everything, I hope you guys have a good day or rest of the night, and peace out once I figure out how to end the stream.